Beer is one of the most iconic products in Australian culture. It's tied to sport, barbecues, weekends, advertising, and national identity. For decades, beer has been marketed as a simple, honest drink. Most people believe beer is made from just four things: water, barley, hops, yeast. That's what beer is supposed to be. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people never stop to question. Not all beer sold in Australia today is brewed the traditional way. In fact, a large portion of mass-market beer is highly industrialized, brewed using shortcuts, diluted after fermentation, stabilized for long shelf life, engineered for cost efficiency, not quality. And here's the detail that surprises most people. Australian regulations allow beer to contain processing aged sugars and brewing shortcuts and still be legally sold as beer. So this video is not about promoting alcohol. It's about education, transparency, and understanding what people are actually buying. Today, we're exposing 8 Australian beer brands you should seriously reconsider. Not because beer is evil, but because many beers are no longer 100% traditional beer in the way people assume. This is a consumer awareness documentary, not a drinking guide. What not 100% beer actually means: traditional beer relies on malted barley for body and flavor, hops for aroma and balance, yeast for fermentation character, time for flavor development. But modern mass-market brewing often relies on sugar adjuncts to replace malt, enzymes to speed fermentation, aggressive filtration, flavor stabilization, dilution for consistency. These methods shorten brewing time, reduce ingredient costs, flatten flavor complexity, increase profit margins. The result is a beverage that looks like beer, tastes like beer, smells like beer, but is chemically and structurally different from traditional beer. Number 8, Victoria Bitter. Victoria Bitter is one of Australia's most recognizable beers. It's marketed as tough, traditional, and authentic, but modern VB is brewed at enormous industrial scale. Why it falls short? To ensure identical taste across the entire country, VB is aggressively filtered, heavily standardized, brewed for efficiency. Natural fermentation variation is removed. That consistency comes at a cost: reduced malt character, muted aroma, flat finish, iconic branding. Industrial beer made for scale, not depth. Number 7, Carlton Draft. Carlton Draft is marketed as a classic Australian lager, but today's version relies heavily on modern efficiency brewing. The issue: to keep flavor light and consistent, the style often uses sugar adjuncts, shortened fermentation, stabilizers. This produces a beer that is easy to drink, thin in body, low in malt presence. Heritage name: modern brewing shortcuts. Number 6, Tooheys New. Tooheys New is often described as smooth and easy drinking. That smoothness is not accidental. What's happening? To create that neutral taste, breweries typically reduce malt concentration, rely more on fermentable sugars, filter out flavor compounds. The result is a beer that lacks structure, lacks depth, feels watery. Smooth marketing. Watered down beer character. Number 5, XXXX Gold. XXXX Gold is extremely popular, especially in warmer regions. But popularity doesn't mean traditional brewing. Why it's not traditional? XXXX Gold is low malt, heavily diluted, brewed rapidly, stabilized for long shelf life. It's designed to be light, neutral, broadly appealing, not expressive or character-driven. Mass appeal, minimal beer identity. Number 4, Great Northern Brewing Company. Great Northern is marketed around lifestyle imagery, outdoors, nature, clean living, refreshment, but the clean taste is engineered. The problem: this beer relies on sugar-heavy fermentation, aggressive filtration, flavor reduction. What's missing is malt depth, hop aroma, fermentation character, lifestyle branding, very little traditional beer complexity. Number 3, Han Super Dry. Super dry sounds modern and health-focused, but dryness usually means something has been removed. What's removed? To reduce carbohydrates, beers like this often use enzymes, strip residual sugars, remove flavor compounds. The result is thin mouthfeel, hollow taste, chemically dry finish, health style marketing, technically engineered beer. Number 2, James Boag's Premium Lager. James Boag's Premium Lager is marketed as heritage-driven, Tasmanian, pure, and traditionally inspired. It carries a reputation for quality and history, but the modern supermarket version is highly standardized. What most people don't realize. To guarantee identical flavor across millions of bottles year-round, this beer relies on heavy filtration, flavor correction, stabilization processes, high-efficiency brewing. Consistency is prioritized over individuality. Why this matters? Traditional lager brewing depends on time, full malt expression, natural fermentation variation. Large-scale modern lagers often reduce malt complexity, rely more on sugar fermentation, filter out natural character. The result is a beer that is clean, smooth, easy drinking, but also lighter in body, lower in complexity, flatter in flavor. The premium illusion. The word premium suggests longer brewing, richer malt, minimal processing. But in reality, supermarket premium lagers are engineered for shelf stability, mass appeal, production efficiency, heritage branding, factory-controlled lager with reduced beer character. Number 1, Foster's. Foster's is the most misunderstood beer on this list. Internationally, it's marketed as the Australian beer, but in reality, Foster's is brewed for export markets, uses dilution and sugar assistance, is heavily stabilized, barely represents Australian brewing traditions. It's an Australian brand by name, not by brewing philosophy. Global branding, not real Australian beer heritage. How to tell if a beer is not 100% traditional. Warning signs include extremely long shelf life, perfectly identical flavor year-round, very light color and body, heavy, easy drinking marketing, no ingredient transparency. Traditional beer, varies slightly between batches, has malt presence, has aroma and texture, is not perfectly uniform. This video is not encouraging alcohol consumption. It's about understanding marketing versus reality. Many beers sold in Australia today are industrial, cost-optimized, heavily processed, marketed as traditional when they're not. Beer does not always mean real beer. Knowing that gives people informed awareness. If you want educational videos on what beer labels really mean, additives allowed in Australian beer, traditional brewing versus modern brewing, food and drink marketing myths, comment yes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to protect Australia Plates. This is Protect Australia Plates, exposing the truth behind everyday products so people can make informed decisions.